Jennifer Hayes was wiping down the nurses' station when the FBI agents walked through the emergency room doors. She noticed them immediately, the way everyone in the room did two men and a woman in dark suits, moving with the kind of purpose that made people step aside without being asked. Hospital security trailed behind them, looking uncertain and concerned. Jennifer kept cleaning, her movements steady and methodical, the way she approached everything in her quiet, unremarkable life as a night shift nurse. She'd been working at Providence Hospital for 18 months, and in that time she'd perfected the art of being forgettable. Her coworkers knew her as reliable but reserved, the kind of person who did her job well but never stood out. She ate lunch alone, declined invitations to after-work gatherings, and kept her personal life so private that some wondered if she even had one. Nobody questioned it much. Healthcare was full of people running from something, and everyone deserved their privacy. But what these FBI agents were about to reveal would shatter everything her coworkers thought they knew. And I guarantee you, this twist will leave you absolutely breathless. The lead agent, a woman in her 40s with sharp eyes, approached the charge nurse. "We're looking for Captain Jennifer Hayes. We were told she works this shift." The charge nurse, Robert, looked confused. "There's no captain here. We have a Jennifer Hayes, but she's just a where is she?" The agent's voice was polite but firm, cutting through the explanation. Robert pointed toward Jennifer, who had stopped cleaning and was now standing perfectly still, her expression unreadable. The three agents walked directly to her, and the lead agent extended her hand. "Captain Hayes, I'm Special Agent Morrison, FBI. We need your help." The emergency room had gone completely silent. Every nurse, every doctor, every patient capable of paying attention was watching. Jennifer looked at the outstretched hand for a long moment before shaking it, her grip firm and professional. "I'm not active duty anymore," Jennifer said quietly. "I left that life behind. We know, ma'am, but there's a situation. A bioterrorism threat at the federal building downtown. Unknown pathogen, multiple exposures, and the suspect claims he'll only speak to you. Says you're the only person who understands what he's done." Agent Morrison paused. He mentioned Fort Detrick. Said, "You'd know what that means." Jennifer's jaw tightened almost imperceptibly. Fort Detrick, the U.S. Army Medical Research Institute of Infectious Diseases, the place where she'd spent 7 years as a microbiologist and counterterrorism specialist, working on the nation's most dangerous pathogens, developing countermeasures against biological weapons that could kill millions. Before this goes any further, if this story has you on the edge of your seat, do me a favor and hit that like button. Stories like Jennifer's need to be shared. Robert was staring at her like he'd never seen her before. "Jennifer, what are they talking about?" "Fort Detrick, Captain." Jennifer ignored him, her focus entirely on Morrison. "How many exposed?" 37 confirmed. "More possible he released something in the ventilation system 4 hours ago. We have them quarantined, but we don't know what we're dealing with. Our bioterrorism team is analyzing samples, but the suspect says there's a time limit, that people will start dying in the next 6 hours if we do UNT identify and treat it correctly, and he'll only talk to me. It wasn't a question. He has a photo of you from your time at Detrick. It says you worked on Project Sentinel together, that you're the only one who can understand his message." Morrison's voice dropped. "Captain, I don't know what Project Sentinel was, and frankly, I don't need to, but 37 people are counting on us, and right now, you're our only lead." Jennifer was already untying her scrub's top, her mind shifting gears in a way her coworkers had never witnessed. "I need access to your mobile lab, full protective equipment, and direct communication with your bioterrorism unit. I also need the suspect's full name, Dr. Michael Chen." Jennifer's face went pale. Michael Chen was brilliant and unstable. If he's involved, this isn't a bluff. She looked at Morrison directly. "I'll need authorization to access classified databases. My security clearance was never revoked, just suspended when I left." "Already arranged, ma'am. We have a helicopter waiting on the roof." As Jennifer moved toward the exit with the agents, Robert finally found his voice again. "Jennifer, wait. You can't just leave in the middle of your shift." "What about?" She turned back, and for the first time since he'd known her, Robert saw who Jennifer Hayes really was. Not the quiet nurse who avoided attention, not the woman who seemed content to fade into the background, but a soldier, a scientist, someone who'd spent years standing between ordinary people and threats they'd never know existed. "Cover my patients," she said simply. "I'll file a report when I get back." The helicopter lifted off 12 minutes later. Jennifer inside wearing tactical gear that fit her like it had been waiting for this moment. As the city lights spread below them, Morrison sat across from her, curiosity evident despite her professional demeanor. "Can I ask why you left? Someone with your expertise, your clearance." "I spent 7 years preparing for the worst-case scenario," Jennifer said quietly, "creating vaccines for diseases that might never exist, running simulations of attacks that might never happen. I saved thousands of lives in theory." She paused. "I wanted to save actual people, one patient at a time, with problems I could see and touch and solve with my own hands. And now I do both." Jennifer's voice was steady, determined. "Michael was my colleague. If he's fallen this far, if he's actually done this, then I owe it to him and to those people to end this." The situation was resolved 4 hours later. Jennifer had identified the pathogen-modified strain she and Michael had worked on years ago. Dangerous but treatable with the right protocol. She'd talked Michael down, appealing to the scientist he'd once been, reminding him that their work was meant to protect people, not harm them. All 37 patients received treatment and survived. Michael was taken into custody facing charges, but also finally getting the psychiatric help he'd needed for years. Jennifer returned to Providence Hospital 3 days later for her next shift. She walked through the same doors, put on the same scrubs, approached the same nurses' station, but everything had changed. Her coworkers looked at her with awe, with questions, with a newfound respect that made her uncomfortable. Robert approached her carefully. "The FBI sent a commendation letter to the hospital. They said you saved dozens of lives, that you're a hero." Jennifer shook her head, picking up a patient chart. "I'm a nurse. I help people. That's all I've ever wanted to do," and she meant it. Because to Jennifer, it didn't matter whether she was stopping bioterrorists or changing 4 bags. Service was service. Saving lives was saving lives. The uniform might change, but the calling remained the same. This story shows us that heroism isn't about recognition or titles or dramatic moments. Sometimes it's about showing up day after day, doing the work that matters, whether anyone's watching or not. If Jennifer's quiet strength inspired you, if it reminded you that extraordinary people often hide in plain sight, please share this story with someone who needs to remember that every person has depths we unsee. And if you've ever been underestimated, if you've ever chosen the simple path over the celebrated one, know that your service matters just as much in the quiet moments as in the crisis. Subscribe for more stories celebrating the hidden heroes among us. Until next time, remember that the person beside you might be exactly who the world needs, even if nobody knows it yet.